I'm Cave Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Captain America, Steve Rogers, issue number 2. Now, in the last issue, in case you've been living under a rock, everybody everywhere lost their collective minds over the idea that old Steve may very well have been a Hydra sleeper agent for the last 75 years. Want to find out the truth? Want to find out what really happened? Well, let's jump on in together, shall we, and find out.
Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, a disembodied narrator pretty much gets us up to speed on everything that happened last issue, as well as everything that's been going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. and how they used a sentient piece of the cosmic cube named Kobik that thought it was a little girl to create the Pleasant Hill Prison, a prison that stripped inmates of their memories and led them to believe a false reality. Of course, the also important question that no one ever seemed to answer during the whole Pleasant Hill debacle is who owned that cosmic cube before it got shattered into pieces. Well, the answer might surprise you because it turned out to be the Red Skull. That was the cosmic cube that he used during one of his most early battles with Captain America before it got shattered. So with that knowledge in hand, it's not surprising at all that when Kobik gained sentience, the first person that she went to was actually the Red Skull. She wanted him to save her from the clutches of S.H.I.E.L.D. This turned out to be perfect timing as well because the Red Skull was becoming incredibly bored with the amazing psychic powers that Charles Xavier's brain had been granting him. It just took all the fun out of supervillainy. After all, Johann Schmidt fancies himself a warrior, a conqueror, and there's nothing glorious about steamrolling over people with mental powers, but this, an omnipotent godchild, someone that he could mold in his own image, this is a challenge. This is right up the Red Skull's alley. And the Red Skull would end up doing just that. In secret, he molded and mentored Kobik, leading her to believe that the key to happiness was to lead a Hydra-like existence. And ooh, you get points for a nice reference there. Look at Kobik's little plush doll. Aw, it's adorable. It's Hive. I want a plush doll, Hive. If I join Hydra, can I get a plush Hive? Now, you're probably wondering, and rightly so, how was Kobik able to keep her allegiances to the Red Skull secret with Dr.Selvig hanging over her all this time? Well, shockingly, Kobik went into the good doctor's mind and remade it, making him think that he had always been a member of Hydra. And when the Red Skull figures this out, that Kobik can implant memories into people's minds to completely change them, he gets an idea, a wonderfully horrible idea. First off, he gets Dr. Selvig to pitch the whole idea for the Pleasant Hill Prison to Maria Hill, an idea so wonderfully morally gray she just jumped at the opportunity. Then he made damn sure that old man Steve Rogers and himself were in Pleasant Hill during Zemo's riot. Skull had actually been manipulating Zemo from behind the scenes with the use of his psychic powers. He made sure that both himself and Kobik were nearby when Steve Rogers was almost beaten to death by Crossbones, and when Kobik attempted to bring him back to life, not only as a young man, but better than he was before, it was only obvious that this kid who has been twisted and manipulated by the Red Skull would bring Steve back with the keys to what she believed was happiness, and that is a background tied to Hydra. And thus the Red Skull had pulled off his greatest and most dastardly scheme to date, to change the very core of Steve Rogers, to make him an enemy to his friends and vice versa. Because what's better than killing your most hated enemy, tearing them apart from the inside out? So yeah, that's Captain America Steve Rogers number 2, and it answers all the burning questions in my mind, a very satisfying and totally comic booky kind of way. In fact, they wrap it up so neat and tidy, I hope everyone who overreacted when the news hit originally feels a little bit silly right now. And before anyone tries to come in and correct me or anyone else by saying, oh no, this was Marvel totally backpedaling to fan pressure, well, there's two big problems with that. One, comic books are written and drawn months in advance of their actual release, so there's a good chance this book was already half done by the time issue 1 hit and all the controversy blew up around it. And two, and this is a big one right here, if you've been reading all of Nick Spencer's Captain America work from Sam Wilson to the Pleasant Hill event to this, it's clear to see that this is all part of one big long storyline that he's been telling since Sam Wilson issue 2. In fact, if you go back and read that particular issue, you'll see that this whole storyline has actually been foreshadowed quite brilliantly when a talking news head talks about all the dangers of Kobik and how scary it is that someone could reach into your mind and implant memories, changing you without you even knowing you've been changed. I guess moving forward now, the big question is, when will Captain America find out that he's been manipulated, or will one of his friends figure it out first? It's interesting to think that maybe we'll be seeing a sort of nature v nurture story with Captain America. Can he overcome his Hydra programming because he was just born such a great guy, or will he eventually learn the evils of Hydra and overcome it on his very own? Personally, I think it's going to be that second one. All these revelations also make me way more interested in Kobik as a character. It makes me want to go back and reread Pleasant Hill, and also check out what she's doing in the current Thunderbolts book right now, considering that Bucky is harboring her and he doesn't even know that she's been, kind of coerced by this evil madman, one of his greatest enemies. Overall, I would give this one a very strong 8.5 out of 10. This was good stuff, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Hopefully this answered all the questions and can put a lot of people at ease who felt incensed. And if you're mad that the twist was a little too comic booky, well, I can't, hold that against you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer? Or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.